Hey everyone, it's Jack from WhatCulture.com. Now, a wise man once said, I met this chick on Monday, took her for a drink on Tuesday, we be making love by Wednesday, and on Thursday and Friday and Saturday we chilled on Sunday. So with that firmly in mind, let's look at all the ups and all the downs from this week's SmackDown Live. Unfortunately, we do start the show off with a down. AJ Styles' injury has obviously prevented him from competing in that title match against James Ellsworth, and they've pushed that back another week. You can't really blame them for not wanting to wrestle AJ when he's, injured or recovering from a niggling injury. But at the same time, why did they advertise the match for this week if they knew he was going to be out longer than 2 weeks, WWE? They revealed this in a backstage segment in Storyline with the excuse that James Ellsworth had a cold. It's a fittingly sort of pathetic reason for a character such as Ellsworth to miss a title match, but at the same time, it just wasn't a very entertaining segment. The only entertaining thing about it was Shane McMahon's disgusted reactions to Ellsworth's constant sneezing, but that was about it, and unfortunately, as I say, it is a down. Next up, let's take a look at Miz TV, which was maybe a high point of the show for me. Miz's guest was AJ Styles, and then Ziggler and Ambrose got involved, and eventually Luke Harper got involved at the end. And in the words of South London grime MC Big Nasty, there's just so many gas parts to this segment. Gas parts. Good, exciting bits. Let's list them off now. AJ and Miz sucking up to each other like good heels. It was very funny. Before teasing a feud of their own when tensions got a bit too high. Ambrose hitting Miz and Ziggler with dirty deeds, keeping his intentions a little bit ambiguous. AJ Styles bailing like a good heel, and eventually Luke Harper getting involved and really staking a claim for that main event spot that many of us think he is good enough to occupy. So this was a great segment from top to bottom, great promo work by everyone involved, definitely gets an up. And I should mention the sign in the background, the King Ross WCPW sign, new era, same old shit. I genuinely think that Ross may get banned from Access in Orlando this year. And while I don't want that to happen to him, it would be hilariously good, wouldn't it? It would be very funny. Next up, we had Carmella versus Natalya with Nikki Bella on special guest commentary. Now, this might well be my least favourite storyline going on all of SmackDown at the minute. Maybe even in all of WWE, because who cares, man? It's like, did Natalya attack Nikki? Did Carmella attack Nikki? We don't know. It's heavily implied that it was Carmella and she's lying, Nikki's being a dumb babyface, but whatever it is, it hasn't led to good matches or compelling feuds or anything like that. And this match went on for nearly 10 minutes. It's longer than a lot of women's pay-per-view matches in actual good feuds. Nikki lost with a roll-up. Natalya lost with, I'm mixing them all up. Oh, it's just not a very good feud. Natalya lost with a roll-up because Nikki distracted her because she doesn't trust her. It's a down. Next, we had a backstage skit with the man that I reported last week would be appearing on SmackDown as a special guest, Gabriel Iglesias, a famous stand-up comic. Admittedly, I'd never heard of him before, but that doesn't mean he wasn't going to be very good. I just predicted that he wasn't going to be very good after reading a brief synopsis of his material, and lo and behold, he wasn't very good. He appeared in a backstage segment alongside Apollo Crews. Then The Miz and Maurice came along and they exchanged some heated words. And this was Gabriel Iglesias, the man whose fans crucified me on Twitter for daring to suggest wasn't that funny. Well, this is the joke he came out with. Ready? Where did you get that suit from? What planet did you get that suit from, Miz? Uranus? Apollo Crews laughed. He's a f***ing moron anyway, so what does it matter? It's a down. It's a down. Next up, we had the Tag Team Battle Royal to determine the number one contender to Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt's Tag Team Championships, and I think when I was writing this point, I was on autopilot. I'll read out in full. Up, it's an up. I liked it, to be fair. I liked the rule that both members had to be eliminated. I liked how it sounds like a sort of kid's book report. I liked how Heath accidentally eliminated Rhino. Breeze's elimination of Jaden Jordan was class, as was Zack Ryder's winning Hurricane Rana. That's a fair point. I like the booking here. The Hype Bros won't win, but are nice new number one contenders. It's all good. Blompier says he read that Ryder might have injured his knee though, so I don't know what's going to happen now. They don't pay me for nothing here at WhatCulture.com. Next up, we had Alexa Bliss's scheduled match against Enhancement or Local Talent, but that match didn't happen. Alexa just beat her up. Then Shane came out and forced her to have a match with Becky Lynch. Alexa bailed and faked a knee injury and took the count-out loss, and Becky was furious and got a little bit of heat back after the match was over. Very good stuff altogether. Not great in terms of a wrestling match, but it was really good storytelling. Alexa looks really cowardly, Becky looks really strong, Shane looks like a good babyface GM. All good stuff. It's not. Next up, we had the main event, a fatal four-way match, but not really, kind of an elimination four-way match between Dean Ambrose, The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, and Luke Harper, a newcomer to the main event scene. And this was a really good match, as you might expect from the people involved. Luke Harper's tope suicidas are a thing of terrifying beauty. He lands hard on the guy that he's jumping on, my God. In the end, Ambrose and Ziggler were the final two, and shockingly, Dolph Ziggler won because The Miz kind of distracted Dean Ambrose enough for Ziggler to hit him with a super kick and lay across him like Shawn Michaels for the 1-2-3. And then AJ Styles did the whole stare down, like, "Oh, I'm going to fight you next," and all this sort of stuff. I guess we can call Ziggler the number 2 contender because Ellsworth does have a title match first, but eventually when we do get Ziggler versus Styles, hopefully, if Ellsworth doesn't become the champion, I imagine that Ziggler versus AJ is going to be a fantastic top match, maybe at the Royal Rumble, who knows. But from top to bottom, this match was a good one. Good end of the show, and it just tilts the ups in the winning they've won the thing. They've got more points than the downs. It's a good week for SmackDown Live, but not too good a week. Roger that. So that's all for this week on SmackDown Live, ups and downs. I've been Jack from WhatCulture.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Jack_the_jobber. Phil. At Chambers Philip. At Chambers Philip. How quick was that? That's what you want from Chambers Philip. We'll see you soon.
Swinging back and forth, this one for the Internet title here in WCPW and the GFW Next Gen Championship. And Hall still utterly relentless in her pursuit of her rival. Talk about edge of your seat. I keep looking at fans and they are wide-eyed in disbelief at how well Kid is doing here. Primate goes straight after Rampage. He didn't even want the lumberjacks up. One of these two teams will be leaving with those belts around their waist. Oh! Are you kidding me? Hold on. Are you kidding me? Did I just imagine? The WCW World title about to be on the line. Joseph Connors faces his two arch nemesis, Joe Hendry and Drew Galloway. The title in jeopardy like never before.